Hey everybody, Varun here from Language Academy. Guys, very proud to have Tanzin with me today. NAATI Bangla, very first attempt, 70.5190. Congratulations, Tanzin, very well done.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you
Tan-
so much, and thank you for having me today.
thanks, it's a pleasure. Tanzin, very first thing I would like to ask you, what do you think is the most important factor when it comes to NAATI CCL exam? Because when we start preparing for it, we have a lot of mixed feelings, right? Do we need to focus on vocab? Do we need to focus on note taking? What, according to you, is the most important factor?
I think it's rightfully said that practice makes perfect. So if you practice enough, you'll get your desired course, if not more, in NAATI.
Hmm.
It's a time-consuming process, but if you want to get your desired outcomes, you have to be interested to invest that amount of time.
Hmm.
So with time and with practice, you get better in terms of note taking or understanding why you stand, why you lack, and
Hmm.
what are the things that you can work on to improve. And it's not just about vocab or um, the practice test. It's also about how you approach things. So
Hmm.
you may find a bunch of things that tell you this is how you should take notes, that's how you should
Yes.
do this or that. But once you start practicing, you'll see that certain things work for you, certain
Hmm.
things don't work for you,
Correct.
and you just have to figure out which is the best
Hmm.
option
That's right.
that you want to opt for. Yeah.
So basically, you need to practice as much as you can and then self-evaluate what is working for you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's 100% correct, guys. Very important. You see what tricks, what strategies work for you. It's not that we're consuming whole of the content and trying to implement everything. You need to be very vigilant about this. That what you need to implement, what are the things you don't really want to put into practice. See what is working for you. Practice. Try to understand the context. Focus on your vocab as well. And as Tanzin pointed out, focus on practice. Practice is something which will make you perfect. How important are the mock tests and how many mock tests did you take? How mock tests help you prepare for the exam?
I actually took 3 of them,
Hmm.
and apparently the scores were heaps better in my mock test compared to the actual test. But I think the mock test, they're an icebreaker for you when it
Hmm.
comes to the actual exam, because
Hmm.
you're in that scenario where you're not in a class environment and you don't get to you don't have to listen to anybody else. It's just
Hmm.
you and the instructor. So
That's right.
it's a very one-to-one equation, so that gives you a real feel of how the exam is going to turn out to be.
Hmm.
And if anything, the mock tests are tougher than the actual exam.
Hmm.
So they just set your benchmark higher. So when you're actually attending the exam, it gets easier for you to pass with
Hmm.
flying colors, I think.
That's right. That's
So
right. So you
they're very
basically
helpful.
you'll basically get a clear picture of what you are messing up and
Yes.
how you need to improve the same.
Yes.
Right.
So it gives you an idea about the timing, the
Hmm.
pauses, where you need to use corrections, where
Hmm.
you need to use repeat. So you just
Hmm.
get the gist of it, that
Hmm.
these are the long sentences. So
Hmm.
you know that you might end up getting a repeat for it. So get as much information as you can in one go. And when
Correct.
you go for the second attempt, when you
Hmm.
repeat it, just fill in the blanks for it. So
Hmm.
those are some of the things that work differently for everyone. And
Hmm.
once you set with your practice or your mock test, you just start getting those cues and you just
That's
work on it.
that's right. So basically, mock test will give you a clear picture of where you stand, how you need to improve,
Mhm.
and what you need to improve on, plus
Yes.
the uncertainties of the exam. Because we
Yeah.
assume the exam is going to be very smooth, but there can be a few ups and downs, and that is what mock
Mhm.
test prepares you for.
Yes. Yes. It just gives you what that day is going to look like. It just tells you in advance that, yeah,
That's
this is
right.
going to be your day. Yeah.
That's 100% correct. Guys, make sure you take as many mocks before you go for the exam so that you are
Mhm.
prepared for the worst case scenario. And even if you get something difficult, you can handle it with ease and crack your exam in the very first go. Tanzin, any
True.
final advice for students who are preparing for the exam? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? Any special tips or advice for all the students out there, please?
I think the first advice would be don't try to translate it word to word. This
Hmm.
is more of a um, the main idea. If you have the main idea right, everything else is going to flow. Some people struggle with vocab And what you can do is in your spare time, so the practice tests, they give you quite a good idea about the range of vocab that the exam is going to circulate around. So once you get a gist of it, maybe say you're weak when it comes to medical terminologies. So go and take a look at the medical terminologies during your lunch break, or when you wake up, invest 10 minutes on your vocab. So that pretty much, even if you don't do all of it, it just sets you in the right track in terms of confidence. So that helps. And the last thing that I would say is each to his own. Don't compare your performance with anyone else when you're in the class. Just focus on your own performance. And not everyone takes note at the same pace. I can say GM for good morning, someone can say something else for a good morning, and understand what works for you better, the language that you're translating it into, or the language that you're translating it from, and try to take notes in that language, whatever you find yourself comfortable with. I think that's when the classes come in handy, because it tells you what you're okay with and what might go wrong with you. And once you set that thing clear, it's just practice and get better, and you just go and get it.
That's right. That's 100% correct. Guys, few things which I take out from her journey is that, first of all, don't just focus on translation. Try to focus on interpreting the message. Message is the key, not the words. Then don't compare your performance with others. There are, sometimes there will be cases where something's working better for someone else, but it's not working for you. Don't panic. Just see what works for you better and implement and capitalize on the same. Make that your strength and go and crack your exam in the very first go. Congratulations, Tanzin. Thank you for joining us.
Most welcome.
Thank you. That's it from this video, guys. If you need any help with your PT, NAATI, or IELTS, just send us a message, give us a call, or WhatsApp us on any of the numbers given below, and we'll make sure you get your desired score in the very first attempt. Varun from Language Academy. I'll see you very soon.